there, I'm Melissa Batt, the host of Priorities on Purpose, a podcast for overwhelmed direct sellers who want to grow their income, audience, and influence without sacrificing their mental health and main priorities. Whether you're just starting a new adventure or you're 15 years in and have already climbed the ranks, I want to help you have the life and the business of your dreams. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Or maybe you thought you had it and something changed. Whether you have your entire dream mapped out or have completely given up on all the possibilities, I'm here to remind you that God is bigger than the little box we put him in. This side gig is part of his plan. It's not your sole purpose, but it absolutely has purpose. As a Christian life and business coach, I'm here to help you get out of your head and live with intention so you can enjoy what matters most without the guilt. More time to do what you love, more peace, more impact, more money, and opportunities to give to those you want to help. I promise to be your hype girl, business bestie, and biggest cheerleader as I share proven and simple strategies that will be sure to help you live a fulfilled life with a strong, sustainable business. Are you ready to stop chasing all the shiny things and get laser focused? Put your earbuds in while you're cooking dinner or folding that laundry, and let's get to it, friend. This is one time when multitasking is actually going to be beneficial. Hey. So, I don't know if you noticed, but there was no podcast episode last week. And I kind of want to be real with you and kind of share some of the things that are going on behind the scenes, because while I pride myself and have tried so hard to remain consistent and not miss a week, listen, I am still trying to get acclimated to everything with having this podcast. On top of that, if you've been following along on Instagram, you probably know that my sister showed up here at the end of December, and she's not well. She has some mental health struggles, and I've been trying to help her. And without going into all the details, I'll just tell you it's been a lot. And I have struggled over the holiday break. We found out some news about my grandma. And so I've been processing that. My husband just started a new job. I've been traveling, like all the things that everyone else goes through. And I do have an episode that I'm going to be doing as soon as I take time to record it, kind of sharing my process for when things aren't okay. Like, how do I continue moving forward when I am in a funk or really struggling or just feel like I can't catch my breath? However, that is not this episode. This episode is something that I actually recorded in November. We were in the process of doing the Breakthrough Challenge. We are kind of finalizing this round of the Breakthrough Challenge. If you haven't heard about the Breakthrough Challenge, listen, you need to get on it the next time. Okay. So message me Breakthrough Challenge. I'll tell you all about it. But the Breakthrough Challenge, I did a live laser coaching with some of those who were participating. And so Mary had given me permission to kind of share her goal. And you're going to hear me talking through the action steps that she can create based on her goals. She had 3 goals: decluttering her house, coming up with a cleaning routine, and making a specific amount of money for her direct sales business. If you're a direct seller, this episode is for you, because I would say all but the last 5 minutes is all about getting parties, how to go through that process, how to know how much sales you need, how much money you want to make. Should you be doing it? Do you need to quit? I'm going to go through all of those questions with her, and I think it'll be a really good episode for you. So without further ado, here is that episode. And hopefully I will be getting back to my old self really, really soon. I love y'all. I hope you love this episode. All right. So here's what I want to talk to you about. So Mary has a goal. She has 3 goals. She's in the Breakthrough Challenge. She's allowed to have 3 goals, and she's already she's doing the work. So Mary, I just want to give you a shout out, because you're doing the work. You just need someone to kind of help you laser in and focus, right? And so I'm happy to be that person that helps you do that. Okay. So her goal is to sell $100 a month. Real quick, here's something that's very interesting, because I'm pretty sure I heard sell 100, but my question is, do you want to sell 100 or make 100? I feel like you want to make 100. And so if you want to make $100, like that's part of your goal. And it's because she's retired now and it would be nice to have a little extra income. So she just wants some fun money. That's my guess. So $100 fun money, I'm assuming, yes, $100. So the first thing you're going to do with that goal is you're going to say, okay, well, how much do I need to sell every month to get $100? So because you sell for two different companies, 31 and Norwex. So you told me that Norwex is kind of like it's not as important. So I wanted to give you permission. Like, one of the things that's really important, I think, is you're like, I got this thing because I liked it. I kind of accidentally fell into it. And then I have this thing. And you want to keep going back and forth. It's like, oh, well, I need to utilize both of them. Listen, focus on one first. Give yourself permission to focus on one, because if you're not focusing on anything right now, it's probably because you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. So start with one. And so you had said 31. I also want to give you permission to really ask yourself, like, why are you staying? You could have given up 31 in the past. You had said you hadn't been doing a whole lot with it. So I want to ask you that question, because I think you need to give yourself permission to go all in or leave it be and do nothing and make $100 another way, because there's all kinds of ways to make $100 a month. But if you're like, I love 31, I'm excited, I feel like this is the vehicle God has given me, and so I want to make $100 every month because of my love for 31. Okay, great. Do that. But you have to get clear. And I know some people who, especially leaders, me asking that question sometimes makes leaders uncomfortable, because they're like, oh, I just want you to stay. Just stay. No. Let the dead leaves go. Not that she is dead if she is not willing to do 31, but like for your perspective, like it would be better to be able to focus on the buds that are going to turn into flowers and turn into leaves and all of that, versus keep trying to talk someone into it who's really just needs to let it go. Because sometimes direct sales is for a season. And when that season is over, you don't recognize that it's okay to let it go. And so I want to give you permission for multiple reasons to say, like, I want to do this, or I don't want to do this, because so many times we're just going through the motions and it's like, oh, this is what I do. But do you want to be doing it? And if you want to be doing it, then we need to think about that conviction. Like, why do you want to do it? Because you're not going to be booking parties and excited about your business unless you really know why you're doing it. And so I know leaders are uncomfortable when I kind of start with that question, but it is so necessary, because you got to know why you're doing it. And I don't want you going through the motions. I want you to make a decision to intentionally walk this out if that's something that you want. So if you intentionally know 31 is the vehicle God has given you, and so you want to make $100 extra a month doing that, okay, I'm here for that. I don't see you in the comments yet saying anything, so I'm just going to assume that is the case. If it's not a case, then what I would do is make a list of all the other things you can do to make $100, because you can make $100 extra a month doing a lot of different things. And if you do want to continue doing it, then ask yourself why. Why is it important for you to stay with 31 and use that vehicle versus doing something else? Okay. So once you've done that and you know that you want to be making $100 every single month. So first of all, you want to look at your expenses. What are your expenses? Do you have to pay for your website? You're in the Success Lounge? Like, you're going to want to subtract all of those things that you're spending money on for your business. You want to subtract them, because I'm just assuming here, you don't want to make $100, like gross $100. You want $100 to spend, right? You want $100 of fun money every month to do what the heck you want to do with it. And so if that's the case, then you want to look and see, like, okay, do I need to make 145? Do I need to make 200? And then once you do that, you're going to say, okay, well, if I want to make, let's say it comes down that you really want to make $250 because you have $150 of expenses. You should not have that much in expenses. If you do, that's a whole nother conversation because you need to be eliminating some of the things you're spending money on, or at least know why you're spending it. Let's say you want to make $250 because you have so much, like maybe you want one-on-one coaching because you know that 31 is a vehicle that's going to help you get in front of new people and you really want to make a difference and an impact in people's lives and you want to become a coach or create a course or you want to do something like that. And so, you know, you're going to need to have a website. You're going to probably want to hire a virtual assistant and you want to do all that stuff. Okay. So let's just say you want to make $250 so that you can bring home that $100 after your expenses. So if you have to bring home $250, my guess is that means you have to sell 1,000. Most direct sellers, at least for what I know you do, I'm pretty sure you're at 25%. So if you make 25% commission, that has you needing to sell $1,000 every single month so that you can ensure that you have $100 of play money. And with that play money and that amount of parties, so then it's like, okay, $1,000. How are you going to get that $1,000? You can do several things. You can do cash and carry. You can do parties. Parties is what I recommend because parties is getting in front of a lot of people at one time instead of, you know, all these people. Like your time is valuable. And so I preach parties for that purpose. If you don't want to do parties, there's other ways to do it and really utilize the one-to-many. But the party, if you have a party like that kind of direct sales business, it works. And so if you want to do parties, you have to look at, okay, what is your average party sales currently? If you aren't having parties, then you're going to say zero, right? So your goal is do something. And you might be thinking, you know, also, if 1,000 is too much, because I know it seems like you may have said that you were almost inactive at one point. So I want you to, a few things. Number one, start expecting the parties to come. Your words to me was nobody wants to party. Well, I know a whole lot of direct sellers who are getting all kinds of parties. So it's not that people aren't wanting to party. It's that they aren't wanting to party with you or you're not asking them, or they're not wanting to party with the business that you have, which I also think that if you make it fun and you're asking, they will say yes. So you have to, unless they're people like you're not getting outside of your circle, which is a whole nother thing. All right. So now that we have those kind of things, let's say you've done $0 in sales for the last 3 months. Let's focus then on, you know, maybe 1,000 is too much and it's overwhelming. And the thought of selling 1,000 makes you like want to go crawl in a corner and hide. So then we're going to say, okay, well, let's start with 500. You can do 500. What is 500? That is, let's see, if a minimum party, like to be qualified as a party is 200, then you would need to have 3 parties to get 500, and it should get you to 600. But it would also give you like a little bit of cushion because you want to book more, because there's always the potential of, you know, the party not working out or that kind of thing. So many times, and this is where the struggle is, you think, well, but I don't want to do parties because my parties suck. I don't want hostesses and parties because I'm not getting the sales. Listen, if you stick with me and you partner with me, I can help you make it happen. You're going to pray for it and you're going to do the work and it will happen. But so many times you get so overwhelmed and you think like, oh, well, I already can't do this. You can do this. It's about creating these small baby steps to get you there. And so with that, I want you to know that it is possible. You have to be expectant, be praying for it, and also be willing to walk it out. So you don't need to worry about a party script or anything like that in the beginning, because you need parties. So many times that's another thing. Like we want to focus on the fun thing. We will focus on party script and creating this and that and creating graphics or whatever. maybe not you, Mary, but other people that get so caught up in that thing that they've done that to avoid the hard thing, which is a rejection that comes when people say no to the party. And so in the beginning, yes, it's hard to hear no, but you're going to get better at it. And so you got to start with the party. And so when it comes to the Breakthrough Challenge to make your $100 a month, I would really focus on booking parties, 3 parties every single month. When you have 3 parties every single month, that will get you at least 500, or it should. And if, again, once you start there, you're going to build on it. We're not staying there, but this is just a baby step. Okay. And so with that, what I recommend is the mega party. For the mega party, what I would recommend you do is go on and get out your calendar and you look for November, December, January, maybe February, but definitely January. And you're going to look at those months and you're going to go on and pick 1 week from the month that you want to party. I'm assuming you're going to do Facebook parties. If you want to do home parties, you can. But if you want Facebook parties, that's where I would focus. And I would do all the parties at the same time inside of a mega party. And with that, I have a script for Success Lounge members. So Success Lounge members, you automatically have the script to get you started. I pretty much give you everything to get you started with this. But the first thing is creating, I feel like added them to the group on a Thursday, and then I did early bird shopping through Sunday, and the party closes up like the following Friday, I think. So that gives them 2 Fridays. So hopefully they get paid by then. And it works. I'm telling you, it works. I've done this with several Success Lounge members and it will work. Will you sometimes have a hostess that says, this isn't my priority right now? Yes. That's why you have to book for that. You have to book more to know that something like that is going to happen every once in a while and plan and be proactive. But doing it like this works. So once you, this is what your action steps should look like for that goal. Are you ready? Hope you're going to be writing this down, Mary, and anyone else who's like, I need to make money and I have a direct sales business and I'm not utilizing it. Here's where you start. Action step number 1, figure out how much money you want to make. Do the math to see how much you need to sell in order to make that amount. Once you have that number, know that you need to figure out how many parties, if you do parties, it will take to get that amount. And then you're going to take your calendar and you're going to block off when you want to have parties before you ever ask anyone to party. And this is going to save you so much time. So many times it's like, hey, do you want to have a party? But then you don't have any, you're like, okay, well, do you want to do it on a Tuesday? Or it's too much back and forth and you get burnt out. They get burnt out. This is going to be really, really quick when you go into booking parties. So then you're going to have those in your calendar and then you're going to make your list of all the people you want to ask to have a party. You mentioned in the Voxer message that you have a ton of inventory. You have all kinds of stuff that you had bought. First of all, it is not a business when you are buying things and you're your best customer. Your goal should be to get everything you want for free as a consultant from random orders, that kind of thing. And I also want to go on and give you permission that when you do this, November is not going to be your best month. You're going to book more for December and January than you ever will November, because that's the way it works. Most people aren't going to say yes to the first month, but they will say yes to the next month. And so when you focus on that, I want you to really look at just doing it. You will hear no. You're going to hear, I don't know. Get used to it. I used to do this thing at meetings with those that were in my area when I hosted meetings, and I don't know where I learned it from, but it was something about a Q-tip, and the Q-tip stands for quit taking it personally. When you go to a restaurant and the server asks you if you want dessert, do you get offended because they asked you to get dessert? No. You say yes or no, and you move on because it's their job. It's your job. And so again, I kind of went over that last part really, really quick when I told you that you shouldn't be your best customer. You should be getting all your stuff for free. That's important if you want to be doing this as a business. If you want to be doing it like a business, you got to start treating it like a business. You hear me? And so you're going to start booking parties once you have that list. If you need help with wording, you are in our student community. Ask, put your verbiage there, and then ask. I don't know if I called myself this first or if other people called me that, but I am the verbiage queen. Okay. Like if you have verbiage and you're like, this is what I'm thinking I'm going to say to book parties, put it inside the student community that you're a part of as a breakthrough member and Success Lounge member. And I will help you tweak your verbiage so that you get the best results. Yeah, hear me. Okay. So then you're going to be doing that. Now, the goal once you do mega parties is to get at least 2 parties booked off of every single hostess. Notice I didn't say off of each party, because you're doing a mega party. So you're going to have 3 hostesses inside of 1 party. And so that means for every mega party, you should be booking 6 parties. That's going to keep you from having to do this all the time and asking. So every once in a while, it happens. We have to, something comes up. We kind of start getting sucky with our follow-up and we're not booking parties, and we need to be like, hold up, what's going on? And normally by the time we've got to say, hold up, what's going on, we have a calendar with no parties on it again. And so then we have to kind of go through this process again. Remember what the perks are for the party. So many times we think nobody wants to party. Well, what are the perks of having a party with you? You need to create a list of the perks for partying with you, not another consultant, with you. What are the perks? And own it. I want you to own that. What are they going to get? They're going to get your fun personality. They're going to get encouragement, all kinds of things. And so I want you to really leverage that and own it and lean into like, this is why you need to be partying with me. Okay. Your other 2 goals were to declutter and create a cleaning routine. So the declutter, your action steps on there, which again, I didn't give you all the action steps for the part, like making the $100 a month, but I've kind of given you a few. Oh, back to that inventory. When you said you have inventory, my first thought is, if you have inventory, can you create like mystery bags or book to look or something like that? So you automatically get people to say yes to booking parties a little faster because you're giving them an even better deal. If you can do that, do that. Whether you show the product or don't show the product. Although I will say that if you're going to do mystery bags and you want to continue doing a mystery bag, it needs to be a wow thing, not a like leftovers, because nobody wants your junk. And not saying 31 is junk, but I have some things that I could not sell for the life of me. I want this to wow them so they will be like, oh yeah, it was a great idea for me to have a party, because not only did I get all the hostess rewards and all of that, but I also got this sweet bag of goodies. Okay. So again, go big or go home. That's kind of my mentality when it comes to giving gifts and getting people, enticing them to say yes. I'm over the top. I get it. You don't have to be quite so over the top, but you do need to know that presentation is everything. But also, if you want them to say it again, like you can trick them once, but you won't trick them twice. Okay. So make sure it's something that you would enjoy if you were to book a party to get it for free. Okay. Your action steps for that really is brain dumping all the areas where you need to declutter, specific areas like linen closet, bathroom cabinets. Maybe it is your kitchen cabinets, like as little, like as specific as you can go. And then like week 1, I'm going to focus on this area. On week 2, I'm going to focus on this area. And the goal is to get as many of those done as you can within the 12 weeks. And then for your cleaning routine, it really is looking, and this is where, listen, like planning is hard for me. Planning hurts my dang brain because 1, I have ADHD. So I definitely think that contributes to it, but it means I got to slow down. I got to slow down and pay attention and be like, well, what is next? Like, what would make this easier? I'm going to give you a little analogy or example for me personally. Like there are some areas, my protein drinks, like I am still working on my morning routine. I've added in protein and I'm like, dang it, I'm drinking protein. Well, I thought about it because there are still some days that I don't like doing it. And what it is that I don't like making it in the morning. Why don't I like making it in the morning? I don't like making it because I get protein powder everywhere. And then it's on my hands and it's on my cabinets. And I don't like doing it. And so what can I put into place to help me with that? Well, same thing with like this month's challenge and choosing less sugar. If I have celery washed, cleaned and cut, and it's easily accessible, I will choose celery over Cheez-Its or celery over Oreos. I just need it to be like super fast, get it in my hand and go. And so the same thing with my protein drink. So what I've done is I bought these little cups and put the protein powder in there. And then all I have to do is dump the protein powder into my cup and it doesn't make as much mess. And then I can fill all the cups at one time on a Sunday when I'm also doing my jar salads because I want to eat better. And so instead of not eating lunch, because a lot of times I won't eat lunch because I don't want to take the time to make it, and then I end up eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that, I'm making salads in a jar. So every Sunday I sit all my stuff out and I make the jar salads. Again, one of the things that would have held me back is like, I don't want to cut up the lettuce. Well, now I just buy pre-washed cut lettuce or salad mix. And so that makes it easier and helps me get it done. And then I do all of the salads for the whole week. They're in my fridge on Sunday night. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have a salad that I can eat. So do that when it comes to your cleaning, your decluttering, any goal that you have. Like look at like what is getting in your way. Because where there's something getting your way, you probably will need to flip the script or figure out like how to overcome that hurdle. And so think about that as you're doing all of your goal setting and your action steps. I hope that's helpful. Hey friends, that's it for this episode. If you found value, I would love it if you could take a couple of seconds and leave me a quick review. While it may seem super simple, it is so beneficial and gives me the opportunity to help more women. Also, take a screenshot and share it on social media with your biggest aha today. Don't forget to tag me at MelissaBadOfficial so we can connect. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, friend, keep walking it out one baby step at a time because God's got you.